You guys hear me? Yeah, they can. I just need to fix this. I can probably by yeah. I don't have a picture right now, so we'll just use this one. Okay, so what are we doing today? We are studying. Like studying today, and I felt like I should do this like this. It makes much more sense to do this here. I basically discovered this way. I mean, not discovered, I kind of gave it a series of prompts in Google Gemini Pro. I had this subscriptions. I thought might as well use it. And I gave it a boatload of prompts to make it like this. So it gives me like constantly switching up, like it's consistently switching up questions based on the syllabus that I've provided it with. So I can just use this AI to like help me figure out things. So the first question it is going to ask me, it is for CUET PG by the way. So the first question it is asking me is, which early school of psychology used introspection to break down conscious experiments into its most basic components like sensations and feelings? So which school of psychology used introspection to break down conscious experiences into its most basic components like sensation and feeling? What do we what do we feel is going to be the answer? By the way, we have 5 people in the chat. Let's go Gestalt psychology. It's structuralism. I thought it was Gestalt psychology, but structuralism makes sense. It's like giving basic structure to the feelings. You can like characterize them into structuralists like Edward Titchener sought to map the structure of the mind by analyzing the elements of consciousness. Okay, we got one wrong. It's fine. We can get another one. A researcher is tracking how memory capacity changes in individuals as they move from adolescence into late adulthood. The researcher is working in which subfield? Tracking how memory capacity changes in individuals as they move from adolescence into late adulthood. So that will be developmental psychology. Whenever we are talking about transitional like development, where Shalini Gupta, hi, how are you? So it's like, hi, hi, Shalini, can you hear me? Am I audible in the stream? I guess I am. Yeah, you can. Fine, what about you? I'm also good. Thanks for asking. So we were talking about how um, I have my boards tomorrow for like 12th. Holy, your 12th exams? I have my CUET PG in like 2 weeks. not even 2 weeks, like in 10 days. So I was thinking about like doing. I have subscribed to you, bhaiya. I have subscribed to you. Bye. Bye. Thanks for joining the stream. So that is developmental psychology when we are moving from one stage to another stage. And the 10th, by the way, last exam. Oh, best of luck. I hope you do good. Gaurav, crazy. Crazy, bro. I just, best of luck. What the fuck, Nightbot? Just sorry for this. Put user in a timeout, 30 minutes. I have to fix the Nightbot commands. My bad. I haven't fixed them. Crazy. Gaurav, I just gave my Gemini some commands to, yeah, group study. Let's go. Do you want to join on Discord? Wait, I'll add you on Discord. Wait. Are you studying right now or what?
Twin.
What's good,
Yo, what's
twin?
up? Yo,
What's poppin', twin?
uh, wait a minute.
Were you studying?
Yes sir.
Let's
ना
go.
ना मैं कर रहा था मेरी लाइट चली गई थी मैं वापस आई जस्ट तो मैं नाइट ट्रेन खेलना शुरू करने वाला था मैं fuck the night train gotta study.
Yeah, gotta lock in. That's why,
I
like,
just
I was studying, like, for some time since morning, and then I was like, nah, I'm not focusing enough. I need to hold myself accountable in front of someone. So I thought of just
yo
starting streaming. Because, by the way, I just gave my Gemini a shitload of prompts. I was like training it since morning, and I guess now it's
yo
working.
by the way your voice is little low. Turn it up.
Oh, wait, wait. Did you like turn me up all the way in Discord?
Yes sir. It's 200.
Hello, can you
Wait.
hear me now?
Yes sir. It's good.
Like I'm staying a little farther away from my mic, that's why I guess.
Oh, can you also reduce input lag जो भी होता है input latency I think stream की so it's 1 to 1.
Or you want if you want I can like stream to you on Discord because
Yep,
ultra
that
low
would
ultra low
yeah that would be better. You do that.
ultra low latency is not like supported.
Yep, do that. I'm gonna watch your stream in the background. We'll get the free view.
Can you watch me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go then. Where were we? We were at like moving from one developmental stage to another, and the department that looks over it is departmental
Yeah,
psychology.
what was the first question?
First question was which school, it's like factual, so like which school of psychology
It,
was.
it was structuralism.
Yeah, I thought it was just all psychology, my bad.
Guess you don't know, but I can tell you the Gestalt जो school है, it views the perspective as whole rather than to some part of it.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
thinks so. If you don't know, I will explain, and if I don't, you explain.
Okay. So it's like not looking at parts, but a whole is like bigger than
Yep.
the part of it.
Uh, it says humans tend to be able to recognize whole faster than better
Yes,
than
fragments.
structure.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. And it was like opened by German psychologists, like three German psychologists. Who were those?
Wolfgang Kohler,
Uh,
Kurt
Kurt
Kafka,
Kafka and
एक और था बंदा भाई क्या होगा
Kohler, Kafka and
Wolfgang Kohler, Kurt Kafka, and एक और था भाई. I think I written somewhere.
just all psychology, just all psychology.
तेरे को दो नाम पता है भाई तीसरा तेरे को दिख जाएगा.
Summarize the whole proximity. It was given by Max Wertheimer, Wolfgang, and Kurt Kafka.
ये Max Wertheimer I
Yeah,
think the
yeah, yeah.
proper name.
Yeah. Max
Which
Wertheimer, Wolfgang Kohler, and Kurt Kafka.
mm,
Yeah. So,
this is
William, let's go. Next question. Can you see it?
yep.
So,
Who's
William
William James?
James, the author of Principles of Psychology, is most closely associated with which school of thought? So,
Functionalism, I think.
William James is from functionalism.
Yep, I think functionalism. This is like more of the factual
Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah, this is factual. This is not based on understanding, right?
So I can't. You just remember that shit.
Yeah, you just have to remember. Yeah, William James is from functionalism. Let's go. We remember that shit. When a psychologist creates a treatment plan to help a patient reduce their frequency of panic attacks, they are addressing which goal of psychology? So, what are we
What?
doing here? We are giving a treatment plan to help a patient. This is control, right? Did you
Wait,
s-
wait, wait.
did you
When a
s-
psycho. Yep. Yeah, what?
did you study goals of psychology?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, so it's basically which goal is this scenario addressing, where a psychologist is creating a treatment plan to help a patient reduce their frequency of panic attack. So here we are
Yeah,
helping the
we the
patient.
control.
Yeah, we are
Control.
helping the patient to reduce the
Yep.
frequency so
Check
it will
the
be
hint.
controlled.
Check the hint out.
The goal is often referred to as influence or modification. Okay, so influence and modification only happens in control. Description is where we are just like gathering information. Explanation is why, like why and how it happens, and prediction is when will the next thing happen. Okay, so
Prediction is more related to research, and
yeah,
other three are also
description, yeah.
control is also related to research, but prediction
Control,
is more.
no, control is how it like affects high.
To actually change influence. Yep, यहाँ पे
Yeah.
लिखा भी हुआ. You can control environment से related होता है, but caution यहाँ पे caution से पता चल रहा है control है answer.
Control. The phrase "the whole is greater than the sum of its parts" is just all psychology. This is what we study, right?
First answer, then check hint every time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
there's a
Okay.
good knowledge. Good
Mm.
knowledge.
This school's name is literally translated to form or configuration in German. Yeah. I guess we need to learn German to understand Deutsch. We need to understand Deutsch. A psychologist who studies how hormones during puberty affect mood swings is like a specialist in biological psychology, health psychology, forensic psychology, clinical psychology. Now, clinical
It's not.
psychology is
Totally नहीं है.
nahi hai. Yeah,
Clinical.
it's clearly
For
different. Forensic is
forcing
forensic is crime related.
health. Health is different, right? It's more related to different. So it's biological probably.
Uh,
But bio.
yeah, health is related to how it is used in hospitals, how psychology is used to like develop in like how psychology is used in hospital settings, medical settings, and biology is how internally humans like work out, but it can be health. Or this branch is also known as behavioral
Yeah,
neuroscience.
behavior neuroscience biology psychology को बोलते हैं. Biological
Yeah,
psychology.
let's go. Biological psychologists examine the link between physiological processes like hormones and behavior or mental states. So
My
this,
health, I don't think health psychology
yeah, it's
does
medical
many
setting.
things.
No, it's medical setting.
Neurotransmitters के साथ अलग करता
Yes,
नहीं है कुछ.
yes, Manisha, we are psychology students. Me and my friend, he's on a Discord call with me. No, health psychology. I was studying it na subah se. That's why I am telling you. It is how we use psychology in a medical setting, like in hospitals or other, where it studies the relationship between how psychological theories and like models can help a human like recover fast, recover more easily
But
from.
it's like a more
Yeah,
broader
yeah, yeah. It's a broader concept. Biological psychology is a very specific
just
niche.
biology.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very specific niche. True.
Wouldn't say it.
John B.
John B.
Watson.
was. I
Watson's
think
Little
it's.
Albert experiment was designed to prove that fear could be learned through which process?
Oh, do you know this one? I think I know
It's
this one.
operant conditioning, right?
Show hint दिखाना hint.
It's operant conditioning, associating two stimuli together. Yeah,
I think classical conditioning
classical
pro-
conditioning was given by Maslow, no? No.
but it's a little Albert experiment.
Little Albert is example of classical conditioning. Are you sure?
क्लासिकल कंडीशनिंग में नहीं करते हम कि दो डिफरेंट स्टिमुलाइज को कनेक्ट करते हैं?
Let's go then. Oh, let's go. Pavlov. My bad, my bad. I guess I was wrong.
भाई ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग इज मोर रिलेटेड टू रिवॉर्ड्स, सो
Oh,
दैट्स
yeah,
व्हाई.
yeah, yeah. Reward system, yeah. You get rewarded for something.
And cognitive mapping, I don't know what is. Introspection is looking inside. Pretty.
Introspection is like self
Yep, looking
critical,
inside.
yeah. And cognitive mapping is like you understand the mental processes of your subject or your client.
भाई मैं तो बताता हूँ, पूरी गैंग को कवर कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे.
For real,
Do you
man.
want me to put do you want me to put messages?
No, no, no. Shit will be chaotic. Well, like that. The two of us, it's manageable. So, a study that aims to find out if music therapy can improve the focus of a children with ADHD is an example of what? Applied research, philosophical inquiry, basic research, or structuralism.
It's not structuralism and philosophy, it's basic research or applied research, but I don't know the difference.
Like
When you,
applied research is when you apply the already like proven facts and theories that you have in order to like get better results out of a
so it's the
research
applied research, because we already
study
know
that
music
aims to
therapy.
find out if it can improve the focus of children with ADHD. It's like if it can improve. So I don't know. Wait, consider if the goal is to expand the. Yeah, it's basic research. We are just expanding knowledge because the question says if music therapy. If it would have been a psychologist studies that like for certain music therapy is going to improve the focus
So
of children.
like which music improves better?
No, that's not the question. It's just asking
No,
if
no.
music.
If it was a applied research, if it
Yeah,
was a so
if it was applied research, it would have been like for certain this type of music is improving children with ADHD. That would have been applied research. So fuck me, I'm wrong.
मैं क्या भी रहा
Wrong.
था, मैं क्या भी रहा था भाई.
Applied
So
research is specifically designed to solve practical, real world problems like improving attention in ADHD. Yeah, we
yeah,
are
yeah,
fucked.
your reasoning was wrong, bro.
Yeah, true, true. Sigmund Freud's
Mine
psychoanalysis.
was
Yeah, yours was
made.
right.
Mine didn't even like. I didn't even know what applied research is.
Yeah, that's
So
why I
what
got
was the
overconfident.
segment for emphasizes
Wait.
this? Wait.
Basic research seeks to increase the general knowledge base without an immediate practical application. So, what the fuck was this? Expand knowledge to fix a specific or to fix. What the fuck? This gave us the hint for both. This is what toppled me over. Which year are
भाई
you in? I'm in the
actual में
last year of my
you know
graduation.
what do you do? You
Mm-hmm.
search what an applied research and what is an a basic research is on
Okay.
Chat GPT.
Applied, wait. It will give me an overview of applied psychology. Nee, applied research.
Versus
Basic research psychology. Basic research in psychology aims to expand scientific knowledge, theoretical understanding, and fundamental principles of behavior driven by curiosity. Conversely, applied research focuses on solving specific practical real world problems such as improving mental health, treatments, or workplace productivity. So, basic research is basically just to expand the
for
scientific knowledge.
curiosity.
Yeah. Theoretical
Curiosity.
understanding and all. Yeah,
एक curiosity and दूसरी वाली है to do greater good.
yeah.
My God, that's like then it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sigma. Oh wait. This is my field. I know this shit.
You have
Sigmund
read
Freud.
Freud, right?
It's unconscious conflicts. Don't even need to think about it.
Second
Sigmund
reason
Freud, and
explains
there
the
is
behavior is
unconscious.
largely unconscious conflicts in early childhood experiences. This is his psychoanalysis theory, right? Freud believed that the
Oh,
hidden desires and traumas from the past
you
dictate our
check the
current life.
hint out.
Freud's
By
model
the
is often compared to an iceberg,
जितने
which
भी
is
मैंने
mostly important. Oh, yeah, iceberg theory, right?
जितने भी मैंने किए ना चैप्टर, आई थिंक उसमें से मेरा सबसे बेस्टेस्ट like personality followed by intelligence, and
Mhm.
the probably worst is sensation and biology. But biology मेरे को ज़्यादा आती है sensation
Like
से.
this will fix, like this model will fix everything. You'll get all types of
By the way,
questions.
psychoanalysis is also the first force of psychology.
Yeah, first force of psychology, and like the
Exactly.
basic, the first school of psychology which was introduced, right?
1900s, I think.
Yeah, a psychologist using a double blind procedure in an experiment is primarily protecting the studies. What?
एक double blind. It's वो बोलते हैं. I think replication.
No, 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 no.
Dub,
Double blind
double.
is where you draw the line between your no subjects
Show the
and
hint.
your own bias. Like you protect the study from your own bias
Oh, okay.
as a
Then you
researcher.
said objectivity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
If
yeah,
you
it's like value ensures that data is collected without the influence of subjects' hopes or expectations. So it's objectivity, right?
yep, then it's
Double blind
objectivity.
procedure in an experiment primarily protecting the study of objectivity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Double blind study prevents both the researcher and participant from biasing the results within their expectations. Yeah, I was right about this. Thank God I know something. Which early
Which
psychologist is credited with writing the first textbook in America, The Principles of Psychology? William James. We just
Wilhelm Wundt, I think.
no, no, no. The Principles of
No, it's just
Psychology.
it's an American psychologist.
William
So
James.
if
William James.
yep, yep. I
He
think
was the
structuralism.
proponent of
Yep,
functionalism and consciousness. This William James, bro. The first
yep.
question was about William James' principles of psychology. James is often called the father of American psychology and was leading figure of functionalism, so he was related to functionalism. If a psychologist identifies that the student's high test anxiety is caused by perfectionist beliefs, which goal of psychology have they met?
Hmm.
It's explanation, right?
Wait,
Because
wait.
his the reason of his text and high test anxiety is due to perfectionist beliefs. So it's explaining the situation.
Wait. Do the show.
Hint? You want hint?
Yep, yep,
The goal builds theories to answers question why. Yeah, it's explanation.
yep. You can do. मेरे को समझ नहीं आया इधर.
It's like
Explanation.
if a psychologist identifies, it's like identifying the problem. No, the problem is high test anxiety, and you get the reason why the patient is struggling with high test anxiety. You
So
got the
if there's
reason.
if there's no reason, it's prediction
No,
or
yeah, yeah,
description.
yeah. No, description is just collecting data. Description is you collect data through observation and like environmental sensory behaviors. You just uh, like collect
Control
data. Control is how you
is
can like
fixing.
fix his test anxiety, and prediction is when will his next like anxiety hike begin, or when will this the explanation that we have gathered will like help us to improve his like
Yep. When
what is the time period you predict something in future. Okay, right now we got the reason why he was doing that, so it's explanation. Which perspective in psychology
oh
emerged as the
this is
third force against the
I
deterministic views of psychology?
humanism.
Humanism was
Humanism.
third, right?
Yep. Humanism was third. Behaviorism was
Psychoanalysis,
second. Yep.
behaviorism, and
Behaviorism
human.
was
Let's
yep.
go. We are on a
This
roll.
was but this is not even a question.
Yeah.
Humanism is ये साइकोलॉजी में तीन ही मेन
Mm.
कंसेप्ट हैं सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है
Psychoanalysis,
साइकोलॉजी.
behaviorism, and humanism, right?
अब तो कॉग्निशन भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है वैसे.
Yeah, cognition is very important now because
परसेप्शन इज.
everything is related to cognitive
By the way,
processes.
what chapter is this?
This is mixed from one and two, introduction and the second one,
Oh,
which is
by the way, I haven't done one or two that goodly. I just read the book, so
it's fine, it's fine.
I
And
so मेरे को
indus
तभी वाला concept नहीं पता था explanation वाला.
oh, the goals of psychology, right? They are a little confusing, so it's like I was studying
ना मैंने
them
पढ़े
from
नहीं
like
भाई.
subah se, that's why it's like still a little more confusing. to me.
An industrial organizational psychologist would likely be find which of the following setting. Oh, industrial organizational psychologist,
Human
human
resource
resource.
department of a large corporation.
Yep.
Easy. Easy. Structuralists primarily used introspection, which was criticized for being too.
Uh, Subjective.
Yeah, because you are just introspecting yourself, right? So there are subjective biases that you would have for yourself. Introspection relies on personal report or internal experiences, which vary too
It's a
much
good
between individuals.
method. It's a right a good method.
It's like very efficient method of if someone is
Like
like,
it's a good method, but it's like if you don't even understand yourself,
yeah,
it's
true.
gonna be fumble.
You're gonna fumble everything in life.
So it just depends on your emotional intelligence and erase your awareness of yourself.
Yeah, true, true. Next question. Let's go. A professional who spends their time evaluating if a defendant has the mental capacity to stand trial is likely a slash an. Evaluating
Objection.
forensic.
It's like forensic. Yep, you can
If a
go. I registered.
defendant has the mental capacity to stand a trial, so
Social
it's like
social नहीं आएगा, health नहीं आएगा, cognitive maybe, पर forensic क्योंकि law and order.
it's like true, true. It's like standing a trial. Defendants has the mental capacity to stand a trial, so it can be it has to be forensic. Will still role bridges psychology and legal system. Easy, bro. Easy. Forensic psychologist. B.F. Skinner is famous for studying operant conditioning using what device?
Human condition.
I mean, it's kind of written over here.
Check करना, show hint करना. It's
The device is often used for pigeons and rats to study reinforcement. I mean, it's kind of written here B.F. Skinner and the Skinner box operant chamber.
देख ले.
This was a little too easy.
Bruh, get your money up, not your funny up.
Get your money up, not your money up. If a researcher says if students study in short bursts, they will remember 30% more than if they cram. They're fulfilling which goal? Now it's
Uh,
again if.
Apply. Oh, if.
Yeah.
So we are like trying to what predict or explain.
If a student studies in short burst, they will remember 30% more than if they cram. Uh, by the way, this is a statement. Do you know that?
Yep, yep, yep.
This is not a
This is
question. This is a
yeah.
statement. So
I
this is
I see.
explanation, right? They're
I don't know.
explaining, yeah, they're explaining if a student studies in short bursts, they'll remember
Yep,
30%
I
more.
that is the good right
Or
explanation.
maybe no, this is because they are
Like,
not
अगर
collecting data,
yep, they
and
are
the
not
goal is
collecting.
about if then relationship for future. No, it's prediction.
Yep, I
The
was saying.
goal is about stating an if then relationship for the future. So if they study, yeah, if is a big keyword here. This fucks me up every
Yeah,
time, like whenever there is an if.
I'll go prediction. You go to explanation. Let's see which one gets
Prediction
the
is
right.
right. Prediction is right. The if then relationship is in prediction. It's not anywhere else.
What is a replication, by the way? Replication is to produce same result over and over
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
right?
it's like empiricism. It's not even
Uh,
a goal of psychology. There are only four goals: description, explanation, prediction, and one more. I don't remember the other one.
this
Wait.
also control,
Yeah, yeah. Goals of psychology. Goals.
control,
Of,
control है the
yeah, yeah,
last.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We go over it to describe, explain, predict, and control. Yeah, or influence behavior control. It's like describe, you just gather data. Explain, you explain why this data is the way it is. You predict how the data can be used to predict future scenarios, and control how we can use different tools and techniques available to us to influence the behavior of the subject. So the cognitive revolution in the 1950s and 60s shifted psychology's focus back to which area?
mental processes. It's literally written cognitive mental processes for evolution.
Cognitive revolution means
Makes
mental processes, because cognitive revolution cannot be a bit about the spiritual nature of the soul
yo
or the
imagine
unconscious trauma.
yo imagine clicking on
Imagine
the fucking imagine clicking on the fucking unconscious trauma.
unconscious trauma from childhood, that will be psychoanalysis, that is not cognition. Cognitive psychology reclaimed the mind as the scientific object after the era of strict behaviorism. So we were strictly studying behaviorism before 1950s.
No, we weren't
No,
strictly
no, not strictly, but the shift of psychology was
no,
pretty direct.
shift. Yeah, I think it was like we were studying psychoanalysis, then we went to behaviorism,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
we
true, true.
I think behaviorism पहले है behaviorism ज़्यादा popular है psychoanalysis से.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. Behaviorism was the like evolution of psychology from being this niche science to a mainstream science. But then जो new जो वो थे, the new wave of psychologists, they shifted the focus of psychology from studying strictly behavior or strictly the psychoanalysis, the study of unconscious mind, to more of your mental processes, like your present cognition, what you think, and how it
It's like
like dictates.
it's like a different. It's like वो दोनों चीजें चल रही थी देने
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time
yeah,
पे.
they were
Like अमेरिका में आई थिंक चल रहा था behaviorism which was most popular वहाँ पे था. And then psychoanalysis कहीं और चल रहा था. I don't know where.
functionalism also, right?
Yeah,
Functionalism was a
functionalism. By the way, functionalism के opposite structuralism या functionalism एक opposition में आया है एक के. I don't know which one it is, but
cognition.
no, no, functionalism के opposition में structuralism आया I think. या
Yeah.
structuralism के
No,
opposition
no.
में functionalism.
It's like gestalt psychology and structuralism. Structuralism studies the structure by breaking down how things work, and gestalt
Yo,
psychology studies the thing as a whole.
isn't the fucking stupid that structuralism people doesn't even fucking no functionalism people even study structures. That's
Uh,
crazy.
which early school of psychology was heavily influenced by Charles Darwin's theory of
Y-
evolution?
Yo, it's not behaviorism, functionalism, or psychoanalysis.
So it has to be
So
structuralism, because we are like, wait,
yep.
the school asked what is the mind for rather than what is the mind. Hmm.
What
Is the
is
mind?
it's
It's
functionalism when you see
functionalism, yeah, it's
exam. Yep.
functionalism. Because you study the
No, no,
function.
मैं कहने वाला था it's not behaviorism or psychoanalysis but मैंने functionalism भी include कर दिया. Eh,
Functionalism looks at how mental processes were adaptive and helped humans survive, inspired by Darwin. Yeah,
evolution
yeah,
is not a structure, it's a concept, it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
function, right?
And it's like how we adapt and evolve to survive. So it's like how functionalists look at how mental processes are adaptive, and then they help humans to instead survive. So
Yeah,
that is inspired by Darwin.
shouldn't structuralism just be biology?
Shit is weird. Let's go. We
और
need more questions.
वो
We
कर
got
देना.
only two wrong.
चेक करना एक फर्स्ट वाला तेरा अपना था एंड सेकंड वाला कौन सा था आई थिंक.
First wala was wait, we can
यू
do
जस्ट
questions. We got 20 more harder add questions. And we can see which question like fucked us up. To set, let's go back right here. Yeah, one was gestalt psychology, where we like picked up gestalt psychology
आई थिंक
instead of
you can just check it by
which
pressing
early
on the
school
wrong.
which early school of psychology used introspection to break down conscious feelings, conscious experiences into its most basic components like sensation and feeling. So it was structuralism, but we chose gestalt psychology.
You chose psychology.
Yeah,
I knew.
my bad.
Wait, what was the second wrong one? Did you check it out?
Yeah, the second
It's
one was this. Wait. Yeah, this basic research and applied research. You were saying it was applied, but I like insisted on it being basic because the hint said expand the knowledge. I didn't read the second part to fix a specific problem. I just read the first part and I was like, yeah, it has to be basic research. Okay. So, a researcher is investigating how specific environmental triggers lead to the automatic retrieval of traumatic memories. By identifying these triggers, which goal of psychology is being pursued? We are identifying these triggers.
Yeah, I it's a description because we are gathering data. Right.
How specific environmental triggers lead to, yeah, we are just collecting data. Fuck me, bro.
Yeah, but
No,
I thought
lead to the automatic retrieval, bro. We are not reading the whole shit.
yeah,
Like, we
fuck
are
that
not
shit.
understanding. Yeah, we are not understanding the question.
Which
We
mean
just,
मैं कुछ अब by the मैं कुछ और कर रहा हूँ एक मिनट रुकना just 2 minutes
fine, fine.
journalism और क्वेश्चन क्या है ये वाला next
Structuralism was heavily criticized by functionalists because it failed to account for what? It failed to account for the use of introspection, which is wrong, the adaptive
ये
utility of
पता
consciousness.
फंक्शन जो फंक्शनलिज्म था ना वो ऑपोजिशन में आया स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म के
Yeah, yeah,
ठीक
yeah.
है
So, functionalists are the adaptive utility of consciousness.
where attentional structuralism was heavily criticized by functionalists because it failed to account
It
for
failed to
the
account for what?
use use of functionalism. Ask what
Functionalism
is
are mind for
what is
rather than what is the mind. So, mind is for the adaptive utility. We adapt with
no,
the mind, no? The
the
importance
use
of
of
visible
introspection.
behavior, the basic elements of sensation, and the use of
Yeah,
introspection.
B makes the most sense. B
Yeah,
make the
because
most.
structuralism, you use introspection in structuralism, right? And it
Yeah.
like breaks down how it breaks down our cognition into different parts like sensation and other things. And the importance of
So,
visible behavior is also there. So
hey man,
functionalism
नीचे
is what
hand
is mind.
hand कर. What function is asked what's mind for rather than what mind is. So जो विलियम जो बंदा है वो स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म वाला बंदा है या फंक्शनलिज्म वाला बंदा है जिसका क्वेश्चन है
William James.
yep I think
Wait.
structure
Titchener, it's Titchener.
function was heavily criticized by functionalists. So it's a structuralist guy ठीक है
Yeah, it's a structuralist. Hi,
इसने
welcome to the chat.
स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म क्या करता है कि वो तो पार्ट्स पे डिपेंड ज्यादा करता है ना वो कि कौन सा पार्ट क्या
Yeah,
क्या कहाँ
structuralism is based on how
सो
different
इट्स
parts like
सो
gather. Yeah.
सो एक आंसर हमें देना कि फंक्शनलिस्ट वालों ने
किस
किस
चीज़ के
पॉइंट
लिए
पे
हाँ क्रिटिसाइज
so
किया था टिचनर्स.
since it's functionalism it gonna be based on a function so we gotta put क्योंकि basic elements of sensation is not a function yeah I think but elements हैं तो वो structure भी है
Yeah,
and the visible behavior
is
I don't know
also
what
structural. Visible behavior.
structure
Visible
it's
behavior is your uh, like
it's also function
it's not accounting for. Structuralism accounts for what? Structuralism
I
includes what? Our sensation, like how we sense our environment around us.
I think it's like the B
I
is
mean,
supposed to
it's yeah, B makes the most sense because it is what functionalism is all about, the adaptive utility of consciousness. But we can be wrong because I have no idea about different schools of psychology. So should we go for it? Fuck it, let's go.
sir
Is our functionalism influenced by Darwin? Believed psychology should study how the mind helps us survive and adapt.
yeah but they यहाँ पे इनका goals देख रहे हैं बंदे कि rather what they are doing
Yeah. Which specialists would be most concerned with the with how social loafing affects the productivity of a team in a corporate software development environment? So now this is regarding a organization. So I think it will be. organizational
Which
psychologist.
specialist would more be concerned with social laughing? You know what social laughing is?
Social loafing is like teamwork in a way.
ना social laughing is a phenomenon. I think जिसमें अगर तुम्हारे वो होते हैं मल्टीपल बंदे होते हैं and they work all hard, ठीक है?
Mm-hmm.
एक बंदा उसमें से सोचेगा and he gonna not work hard.
Yeah.
So it's a social concept. I think social laughing you should search इस मैंने बहुत पहले पढ़ी थी ये तो मेरे को याद भी नहीं अच्छे से.
Social loafing would be then everybody in a team environment working hard, but one of them skipping.
But it's a social psychologist because
No,
it's a
no,
social concept. Social
I don't think
psychologist.
it's social psychologist because it's
We can
in a
try. We can try. We can
productivity
try.
of a team in a corporate software development environment. The
Give
subfield
it.
is often called psychology of workplace. Gang, psychology of workplace. What do you
हाँ,
mean?
it
It's
could
a,
be industrial based organization भी हो सकते हैं.
yeah,
But
industrial organ.
social laughing is a concept of like
No,
social psychology.
social psychology like works in a society. It doesn't work in a very particular niche. In this case, we get a clear answer in the question itself that it is in a corporate software development environment. It's like a very niche environment, so it
By the way,
has to be in the
you should search social laughing. It's
yeah,
pretty good
social
concept.
loafing.
More concerned about the concept itself than the
Yeah,
question.
true. Social loafing is a psychological tendency for individuals to exert less effort when working collectively on a task compared to when working alone. So it's like skipping, like
Yeah, मैं
thinking
बोल
that
रहा था ना
everybody else will do the work. I just have to
social
put, I don't have to put my 100%.
social psychologist I think is more related to doing the social experimentation वगैरह. They are not concerned with the industrialism.
Yeah, it's in the question itself. If it was about society, it would have been social psychology, but it is referring to a team environment in a corporate software development, so it has to be industrial organizational psychologist. Moving on, the concept of stream of consciousness, which suggests that thoughts are continuous and ever changing, was proposed by who?
Uh,
uh,
Segment Freud तो conscious unconscious से
mm,
related है. So no, B.F. Skinner is related to behavioralism. So
yeah,
no,
william
Wilhelm
J.
Wundt. Yeah, William James is a
William
functionalism portion.
functionalism, yeah. Wait,
Wilhelm
his
Wundt का
other, yeah, I have William James, because Wilhelm Wundt was the father of,
introspection से related है बंदा
yeah.
ज़्यादा.
So it's like the stream of consciousness says that your thoughts are always changing and ever adapting and ever changing and continuous, right? So they keep on changing. A psychologist who treats a patient with a phobia by using systematic desensitization to change their reaction is pursuing with
Control.
control. Oh, this was first this goal of psychology question that was like easy to understand. Otherwise, these questions are so wheezy.
Which early school of psycho computer check this introspectionist? I think it's like Gestalt, right? In Gestalt, I think functionalism was the one. Instros or behaviorism. क्योंकि सारों ने किया ना. I don't know about the structuralism.
Yeah, this is hard. Which early school of psychology completely rejected introspection on the grounds of it
इस
was not
विलहाइम
objective?
विलहाइम वुन ने like सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ किया इंट्रोस्पेक्शन को राइट साइकोलॉजी में
Mm-hmm.
स्टार्टिंग में.
Mm-hmm.
सो स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म से विलहाइम वुन के बाद आई है स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म. ठीक है,
Mm-hmm.
स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म से अपोज में आई है फंक्शनलिज्म. एंड आई थिंक स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म यूज्ड the introspection is basically functionalism.
Oh, so this school viewed mind as a black box that shouldn't be studied directly. What could it
Yep.
be?
So it's like a functionalism. Since वो कह रहे हैं कि black box है, so it's a मतलब कि very vast unit और directly मतलब कि उसके parts को understand करने से पूरा brain समझ में आएगा. So we got a different approach. So structuralism की approach to it, I think it's functionalism. I'm just guessing. I don't know if we are
Mm,
right. We are
because
right.
I have no idea about the schools. I'll just go with your hunch. It's behaviorism.
Should have
Behaviorists
thought
like
about.
behaviorists like Watson argued that psychology should only study what can be seen and measured from the outside. Yeah, I had this like no point in saying because I had no idea
Wait,
about this. Yeah.
I haven't studied myself, so I shouldn't be saying. मतलब
Like
guess लगा रहा हूँ.
we know a thing. We know now. So it's easy.
A study evaluating
If a
for
4-day work week reduces employees' burnout is a clear example of what
applied research, right? Since it's a greater good.
a study evaluating if a 4-day work week
It's
reduces employees' burnout is a clear example of. It has to be either no, we are not adding to the basic. Well,
no.
wait.
Is it even a research?
If they measure practical utility, does it have a
Applied.
practical utility?
यह practical भाई working environment भाई बंदे work नहीं करेंगे तो you know what will happen, right?
It's like a 4-day work week.
Mm-hmm.
We usually have 5 or 6 days of work weeks.
But
Applied.
some
Yeah, it's
yeah,
applied. Applied research is designed to find solution to specific practical real world problems like burnout.
mm,
Okay, understood. In the context of history of
yo,
psychology,
last question में it wasn't really about the 4 days. It was more about burnout part.
yeah, true. That's what I'm telling you. I always get confused in these type of questions where the
In
question is
context
very
history.
vague. In the context of the history of psychology, a perception, the process of organizing mental content into a meaningful whole, is a concept of is a concept from who gave
Uh,
the gestalt psychology, right? A perception, the process of organization.
perception का एडवर्ड टिश है वाटसन का तो नहीं है वाटसन इज लाइक
Tichenor,
वी
Tichenor was
टिश्नर ही
structural.
है
Tich,
विलहाइम वुंड और टिश्नर में है लेकिन आई थिंक टिश्नर के ज़्यादा चांस है विलहाइम वुंड और कुछ और ही
Watson
करता
was behaviorist, right?
ये
Behaviorism.
वाटसन एंड पी एफ स्किनर आर द
Skinner are
बिहेवियरिस्ट
behaviorism. This guy was structuralism, and this guy was
एडवर्ड टिश्नर
functionalist.
इज द structuralism right and it's the concepts of perception and Wilhelm Wundt.
Voluntarism branch of early experimental psychology. The term was central to the voluntarism.
I think
Voluntarism.
it's Wilhelm Wundt because he studied perception to some degree.
Yeah, Wundt used this term to describe active voluntary attention that organizes the elements of consciousness. So it's like structuralism. It is a part of structuralism, a perception, where it says that the process is often organizing mental content into a meaningful whole. Where
You know, I wouldn't have known this अगर मेरे को पता नहीं होता कि विलहाइम वुंड का जो साइड प्रोजेक्ट भी कर रहे थे बंदे ने इसके आई थिंक एक था परसेप्शन एक थी लाइक अटेंशन एंड एक मेमोरी
yeah,
एंड एक मेनली इसका इंट्रोस्पेक्शन है तो
yeah,
वही याद रखना मैं तीन जो मैं
he
बता रहा
was
हूँ
doing side quests. Holy
Yep.
shit, bro
भाई
was
मैंने
doing.
सुना और मैंने याद कर लिया एटलीस्ट
Let's go. So, what is it? The next question. Which professional role would likely involve the use of psychometric tests to identify a student's specific learning disability?
स्कूल साइकोलॉजिस्ट क्या इधर स्टूडेंट वर्ड आ रहा है कीवर्ड
Yeah, school psychologist.
इट्स
Specialize in like this is where you don't like use your
it's more
brain.
it's more matter like where you use rather than what you use.
Yeah, it's like more a matter of being not like sensically dumb. You just have to use common sense. Like if you think there is something hidden behind the words, it will be very
There
hard.
is
It's the
there
same
is
for that Skinner black box, right?
there is nothing you just gotta learn to
The five phenomena.
differentiate five
Yeah.
phenomena. I didn't do you know, I just studied this and I fucking forgot it.
The illusion
It's
of movement create
gestalt psychology. It's because it's a perceptions related thing. I know this.
the illusion of movement created by stationary lights flashing in a sequence. Oh, the five phenomena is this.
Yep.
Oh,
Delusion वो
so when you get
मेरे
that
को
flashing, oh, it's called phi phenomena. I didn't know that. Those like hypnotizing videos that have like those flashing colors, which feels like
yeah
it's moving. It's called
it's the
phi phenomenon.
you can even rule this out since it's you know if you know what a phenomena is दे भाई मैं बता रहा ना गेस्टाल्ट का आई डिडंट इवन नो बस मेरे को अभी मैं जस्ट पढ़ के आ रही है आज एंड
Gestaltists use this to prove the perception is more than just a collection of individual sensory inputs. A psychologist studying the impact of culture on the definition of mental health disorders is fulfilling which goal? Impact of culture on the definition of, it's just
the
studying.
it's the core word आ रहा है ना it's the studying which they are
Yeah,
doing
they're not
so
like putting this information to work on anywhere else, so it has to be description, right?
yep
Studying the impact of culture on the goal, on the
it's
definition of
not
it.
an explanation it's not a
Yeah, yeah.
prediction and it's not a control it's
He's just like data
यहाँ पे
gathering
कोई
data,
it's just a straight statement
identifying and documenting. Yeah, it's like nothing special. He's just, which historical figure is known for the law of effect, which states that
Edward
behavior.
Thorndike
Thorndike. Damn,
yeah
that's a aura name, bro. Wish my name was Thorndike. Which states that behavior followed by a favorable consequence becomes more likely. Let me just read it so that I also remember it, because you know this now. So, law of effect was
मेरे को भी
given
पता
by Edward Thorndike. Are you just guessing?
ना हाँ,
You know
मेरे को
this.
पता है मेरे को सारे क्वेश्चन मेरे को पता है आई नो द व्हाट इज मेरे को लॉ ऑफ इफेक्ट पता है एंड आई नो इट्स नॉट रिलेटेड टू थ्री ऑफ दोस इज द क्लोजेस्ट ऑप्शन इज
Which states that behaviors followed by favorable consequences become more likely. Oh.
oh no wait holy fuck I should I would have gotten it wrong अगर ये operant conditioning का question होता but you know expand that shit there's such a law I think oh
Thorndike's law of effect was precursor to Skinner's operant conditioning based on his puzzle box
ओ या मेरे
experiment.
को मेरे को याद आया एडवर्ड का जो ये बंदा है ना थॉर्न लाइक इसने ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग आई है जो ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग है
It's like a
ऑपरेंट
precursor.
कंडीशनिंग इस जो
Precursor.
ऑपरेंट कंडीशन हाँ ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग इसके बेस्ड के ऊपर है
Yeah, yeah,
सो यू
true,
शुड
true. It's like the law effect was a precursor to Skinner's puzzle box experiments.
ये मैंने अच्छे से पढ़ी नहीं है तो मेरे को पता नहीं है इसका
So
कुछ आई थिंक
the
वो
law
भी था
effect is that behavior followed by favorable consequences. Okay, so if you exhibit a certain type of behavior and then you get a favorable consequence after that, so you exhibit that behavior more oftenly. So it's like operant conditioning, but a very crude and vague version of it, right?
it's the operant before operant
Yeah.
became operant
Yeah. A forensic psychologist testifying as an expert witness on the reliability of a child's testimony is primarily using psychology for. As an expert witness on the reliability of a child's testimony. What the fuck? A forensic
wait
psychologist testifying as an expert witness
yeah
on.
forget the forensic part of forensic कर रहा है just
Uh-huh.
focus on what he's doing as an expert witness on the reliability of child's testimony is primarily using psychology for इतनी statement
What the fuck?
psychology a psychologist testifying as an expert witness ठीक है expert witness so what do you think it's happening here it's not structuralism
That
right
is what I'm trying to say. Na? I don't understand what is happening in the question. It's like reliability of a child's testimony.
यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन है कि जो रिलायबिलिटी है जो चाइल्ड की टेस्टिमोनी की ठीक है वो
Mm-hmm.
if you like if a child gave a testimony you know it's you will think it's not that much of
It ain't that
reliable
deep. Yeah, it ain't that deep.
yep बट जब अगर एक फोरेंसिक साइकोलॉजिस्ट उसको टेस्टिफाई कर रहा है मतलब कि उसके बैक में है
Mm-hmm.
सो अब उसकी चाइल्ड की जो टेस्टिमनी है, इट्स मोर बिलीवेबल सिंस शी इज गेटिंग सपोर्ट. सो
Yeah.
अब हमें बताना है कि इस प्राइमली यूजिंग साइकोलॉजी फॉर, ये जो चीज़ है किस साइकोलॉजी के लिए यूज हो रही है. इट्स नॉट स्ट्रक्चरली
A
ट्रू.
real world courtroom with a specific problem to solve. Applied psychology, right?
ये अप्लाइड साइकोलॉजी मेरे को पता
Applying
था.
research on memory to solve a specific legal question in the real world trial. Fuck me, I didn't understand the question. Like it was,
It's for the greater good, right? If you
yeah,
think about it,
it's
in
worded
some
very,
sense.
it's worded very
So
like
मैं वही बता रहा था देखो.
the cognitive revolution was significantly aided by the development of which technology as a metaphor for the human
Computer.
mind.
You should remember this is basic knowledge computer. क्योंकि अब ये बता रहे थे कि like जो people and they are like fucking computers,
Yeah.
and we should start fucking removing our RAM and selling
Input
that shit.
process output model of
Yeah,
computers to study mental
yeah,
processes.
we should remove our like RAM we got in our bodies like DDR36 or
Yeah.
some shit and get some money. Holy fuck.
I think I will be running on DDR negative too. My shit is slow as fuck, bro.
Which psychological goal is most likely to achieve because it requires control to prove causality?
Which
I think
psychological goal is the most difficult to achieve because it requires a controlled experiment to provoke.
prediction. I'm saying prediction because
Wait,
you
wait, 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 wait.
prediction.
Achieve because
Replication
it.
मेरे को नहीं पता.
No,
But
it's not a goal. We know that. Replication
हाँ,
is not a goal.
is not a goal. So description तो आएगा नहीं.
Now,
Words don't
description
get.
is just gathering data. Now, it's
Or might
between
be process.
prediction. It's like
No, no.
it's between
Yo,
explanation and prediction.
you do research to gather data.
Yeah, yeah, true.
बट यहाँ पे हम कर रहे हैं कि रिजल्ट के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं ना.
No, it's asking which of these is the most difficult to achieve. Okay, is it harder to achieve an explanation of a phenomena, or is it harder to predict something regarding a phenomena when we have an explanation because it requires to prove causality? Now, causality means the reason of why
What
it is
cost?
happening.
What cost?
It is
What cost?
explanation. It is explanation. Obviously, it is. It has to
Give
be
it.
explanation because it requires
What's
a
the
control.
caution? What's the caution? What's the caution, bro?
The question is which of these goals, I mean, which of the psychological goal is the most difficult to achieve. So we have to achieve some of it. Okay, one of this. But
Prediction का मतलब होता है
the
just to
precursor,
predict.
but the precursor to achieving one of the psychological goal is a controlled experiment which
हाँ.
requires a controlled experiment to prove causality. Okay, like one of these four requires an experiment to prove the cause of that situation happening. Wait, let's just say why the goal
Yep.
answers why the,
Explanation.
yeah, cause effect, yeah, it's,
Prediction is more like you already know what's
yeah,
gonna happen. You
prediction,
already predicting.
yeah, you're just predicting it in the future, like when is it going to happen. Okay,
Yep. To explain is too hard
it was
and
just a question of understanding the question,
to
right?
to
You
build
just
hard
have
there
to,
is no explain.
yeah, you just have to understand the question thoroughly, then you'll be able to like find the answer. Max worth है मैं cut off 3 rounders. Shit's
Oh
easy
my
as fuck,
god.
bro.
It's humanistic. Self-actualization is the yep.
Hindered by poverty and lack of resources, most likely a
As humanistic psychologist. But I
humanists
guess
focus on
I
drive for
guess
self-actualization and the
yeah.
environmental
But
condition to
fuck that. But fuck that. If you find such like actualization is just humanistic, you don't even think. Free will does not exist.
Structuralism eventually failed as a school of thought because introspection was found to be too subjective and
Too subjective. Too subjective.
different
Yeah.
people reported different mental. So structuralism was all about introspection, right?
Yep. Which perspective of psychology study humans' behavior is a result of evolved adaptation to environment of our evolutionary psychology. I mean,
So,
this is pretty
which perspective in psychology suggests that human behavior is the result of evolved adaptations to the environment of our ancestors?
evolutionary psychology. This is not even a question. Evolution लिखा हुआ है सामने इसके.
Like, we don't have to think about it, right? It's like the
If we are
same,
wrong,
the
if we
Skinner.
are wrong, if we are wrong, we know like it's not clinical and it's not behavioral. Cognitive is the most second one, but it's not cognitive as well.
Yeah, cognitive is mental processes. It is
Yeah,
not
we. I
regarding
think
the,
it's जो यहाँ पे adaptability की बात हो रही है, it's like pretty general one, right?
like from our ancestors to the current generation, it has to be
A
evolutionary.
researcher studied relearning speed of a participant who learned the relearning
Research
speed of.
study that examines that relearning speed of a participant who previously learned a list of words is an example of uh,
Basic research is it's not doing anything right.
studying that the exam
It, it's
study
not a
that
no.
examines the relearning speed of party. Wait, let me understand. I don't understand the question. Research study that examines that relearning speed of a participant who previously learned a list of words is an example of basic research, just adding to the research, just adding to the knowledge we have, right? It's
It,
not being applied anywhere. It has
it's not have for a greater cause.
general principles of memory and forgetting, which are basic science. 90% accuracy. Damn, let's go, boy.
Let's go.
Questions.
Actually,
Should we go harder?
yeah, have you studied like any other chapter?
We can add next chapter in it. Do you want me to add?
Yeah, I gotta go. Somebody calling me, but I'll be back in
Okay,
like
okay, I'll. Okay, okay.
you know what you should study.
Mm.
Start intelligence and personality. You're gonna learn it pretty quickly actually, so it's better.
I'm just learning them chronologically, so I'll just add, keep on adding the, you know.
Fuck that मैं बताता हूँ. जो साइकोलॉजी में इसमें क्वेश्चन है ना, इट्स लाइक इंट्रोडक्शन में डिवाइडेड है. इंट्रोडक्शन के 4 चैप्टर हैं.
Yeah.
एंड उसके बाद तेरे आते हैं बायोलॉजिकल बेस्ड चैप्टर, जिसमें आता है तेरा परसेप्शन आता है एंड बायोलॉजिकल बेसिस ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी आता है एंड
Mm-hmm.
सेंसरी के साथ आता है.
Mm-hmm.
एंड देन यू लर्न मोर अबाउट पर्सनैलिटी. एंड पर्सनैलिटी में आता है इंटेलिजेंस पर्सनैलिटी, which is a more cognitive function, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
डिवाइड दैट इनटू जब तू करेगा. एंड एक मैथ्स भी है अपना. एंड एक अलग से पूरी की सबसे बड़ी वाली फील्ड है जो विच इज रिसर्च डिसऑर्डर से रिलेटेड, राइट?
Okay, okay.
वो तो सो यू शुड स्टार्ट. अगर जो जो तेरा मन है ना वो स्टार्ट कर. आई थिंक द बायोलॉजी इज द हार्डेस्ट वन. सो यू शुड स्टार्ट विद by the way, अगर तू इंटेलिजेंस तू कर रहा है ना कुछ, आई मीन यू शुड फोकस ऑन लर्निंग अ लिटिल बिट. मैं आता हूँ, फिर
Okay.
हम करेंगे. ओके, आई बी बैक.
Okay, bro. Bye. Let's go. So, which specific brain structure acts as the relay station for all incoming sensory information except the sense of smell? Oh no, shit, man. It's often compared to the post office or the switchboard of the sensories. Hypothalamus. Oh, it's thalamus. Thalamus processes and transmits sensory data to appropriate areas of the cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex. Okay, okay. Cerebral cortex. Is it working? So, in the history of psychology, Edward Titchener's use of introspection was a core method for which school? Edward Titchener was structuralism, right? Edward in history of psychology, Edward Titchener use of introspection was a core method for which school? It was structuralism, right? If a researcher is studying the frequency of specific behaviors in a playground setting without interfering, they are primarily engaged in what? If a researcher is studying the frequency of a specific behaviors, he's just studying the frequency of specific behaviors in a program without interfering. They're primarily engaging in description. They're just collecting data. Which neurotransmitter is most commonly associated with the voluntary muscle movement and the reward pathway in the brain related to addiction? Which neurotransmitter is most commonly associated with voluntary muscle movement and the reward pathway in the brain related to addiction? So addiction के लिए which neurotransmitter is commonly associated with muscle movement? Dopamine? Yeah, dopamine plays a central role in movement, attention, and the brain reward system. Which school of psychology was the first to study perception as a holistic experience that cannot be reduced to individual sensation? So, perception as a holistic experience that cannot be reduced to individual sensation. It has to be Gestalt, right? Gestalt was the one that made everything holistic and like didn't reduce it to one. The motto was the whole is different than the sum of parts. Yeah, it is Gestaltians. Yeah. A professional hired to design a factory floor that minimizes workers' fatigue and maximizes safety is most likely an human factor psychologist because they are fixing the relationship between the human and the technology they interact with. So it will be human factor. Specializes focus on design of equipment and environment to fit human capabilities. So this was the right thing. The all or none law in neurophysiology states that a neuron will fire. So, all or none law. What is all or none law in neurophysiology states that a neuron will fire only if multiple neurons fire together, stronger if the stimulus is more intense, in proportion to the speed of the stimulus, at full strength, or not at all. Now, I have no idea about what this question is, so we'll just see what the hint is. Think of a light switch or a gun. Once the trigger is pulled, the outcome is consistent. So, it in proportion, so it should be the all or none law in neurophysiology states that a neuron will fire once if multiple neurons fire together, stronger if multiple fire together, right? No, it's not at full strength or not at all. Once a neuron reaches its threshold, the action potential travel down to the axon at a consistent fuck me, I can't read. At a constant intensity. Once a neuron reaches its threshold, the action potential travels down the axon at a constant intensity. So once a neuron reaches its potential, it travels down the axon at a constant intensity. Okay. William James' concept of functionalism was heavily influenced by which scientific theory? Now, the functionalism was influenced by which scientific theory? It was Darwin's theory of evolution, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was Darwin's theory of evolution because functionalism says adaptation is the main focus of functionalism as a school of thought in psychology. So it applies the idea of adaptation to mental processes and asking how they help us to survive, how they help us humans to survive. If a psychologist identifies that a student's poor grades are caused by a specific memory deficit, which goal have they met? Psychologist identifies that a student's poor grades are caused by, so we are finding the cause, so it has to be an explanation. We got the cause, so it is an explanation on or why behind the observed behavior is or the outcome. Okay, the myelin sheath on a neuron is primarily responsible for which function? I have no idea about the biology. So creating neurotransmitters, speeding up the neural impulse, protecting the cell nucleus, and receiving incoming chemical signals. So, myelin sheath has, I guess, incoming signals. Think of it as a plastic coating on an electric wire, protecting the cell nucleus, right? Speeding up of the neural impulse. Myelin provides an insulation that allows the electrical signal to jump between nodes, increasing the speed. So I was wrong. I read it the plastic coating of an electrical wire, so it should have been protected. No, it should not have been. It was a guess. My bad. We don't have to guess in the exam, so that's the takeaway that we have to take from this, that we can't guess in exam because there is negative marking in the exam. We have to be very specific and very thoughtful with our guesses. If we have no idea about a question, we cannot guess. Which early perspective would argue that psychology should only study observable actions and ignore internal thoughts entirely? It is behaviorism. A researcher states if we reduce the amount of light in a room, participants will become 20% more drowsy. The statement is uh, if we reduce dash in the light, so it's a prediction. We are making a prediction based on the fact that we have severe damage to vernix area in the left temporal lobe would most likely result in difficulty producing speech sounds, difficulty understanding language, inability to form new memories, loss of fine motor skills. The person might speak fluently, but their words would make no sense. Difficulty in producing speech sounds, difficulty in understanding language. Vernix area is crucial for the comprehension of speech and written language. Now, the Vernix area is crucial for the comprehension of speech and written language. The cognitive revolution was primarily a response to the perceived limitation of which school. Cognitive revolution was primarily a response to functionalism, behaviorism, my bad. It was a response to behaviorism. A professional with medical degree who prescribes medication is a psychiatrist. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for which of the following reasons? Fight or flight? Yeah, fight or flight. Sympathetic nervous system prepares the body for actions by increasing the heart rate and releasing adrenaline. Which early figure established the very first laboratory for experimental psychology? It was Wilhelm Wundt in Leipzig, Germany, the father of modern psychology, formalizing the field in Leipzig, Germany. Leipzig, Germany. Leipzig, Germany, a psychologist who uses biofeedback to help a patient control their high blood pressure is likely a specialist in health psychology. So, a psychologist who uses biofeedback to help a patient control their high blood pressure. Now we are using psychology to control high blood pressure. It has to be a specialist in health psychology. The limbic system in the brain is most closely associated with which function? Motor coordination, the sound it makes suggesting motor coordination, because I haven't studied biopsychology. It has to be emotional memory, visual processing, logical reasoning, or motor condition. I'll say motor condition, and that is wrong. Limbic system includes um, amygdala, emotion, and hippocampus memory. So this is, we have to remember this. And then, which goal of psychology is being addressed when a therapist uses cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) to eliminate a client's fear of flying? Which goal of psychology? It is control. Control is the thing. We have 70% accuracy, which is a little harsh because I haven't studied biopsychology. Biopsychology is like messing up my messing up my marks. I have to practice biopsychology a little, like with all my heart, so that I can like perform better in biopsychology. A patient survives a stroke but can no longer form new episodic memories, though they remember their childhood perfectly. Damage most likely occurred in their where? Where did the damage occur if they can't make new memories but they have perfectly preserved? They have perfectly preserved memories of their childhood. So where do you think the damage has occurred? To help you with CUET PG paper difficulty quiz based on your progress, I have included more challenging questions, biological basis, specifically targeting the areas you missed like brain structure functionalism, thalamus and limbic system, and neural laws, all or none. I have also woven into 1 and 2 chapters. So what do we have? Let's just say a patient who survived a stroke but can no longer new episodic memories, though they remember their childhood perfectly. The damage has occurred where?
Yo,
Yo, was good? Was
भाई आ
Gucci?
गया वापस में.
Oh, welcome back.
Yo, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do something. That is my Discord sounds. Oh.
Yo, tell me a patient who survives a stroke can no longer form new episodic memories but remembers their childhood perfectly. So where has the damage occurred? Damage occurred.
Uh,
Do you want me to
cannot
share
form.
my screen?
Yep. I can tell you, like thalamus is for information relay, right?
I
मैं
have
बताता
no
हूँ रुको.
idea. I have not studied in this. I have not studied
Uh,
biopsychology.
uh, I know this. The thalamus is for like information relay center. It's a information relay center.
Hmm.
Amygdala is the
Memories.
part, part that process emotions like
Hmm.
fears, fear
Hmm.
and shit.
Hmm.
Hypothalamus, I don't know what hypothalamus. What is this hypo? Show the hint. I think it's like hippocampus.
Hypothalamus is the structure of power. Limbic system is shaped like a seahorse. Limbic system
This
are amygdala and hippocampus. So what do you think? Limbic system is a
नहीं नहीं हिम्बो ये लिम्बिक सिस्टम में थैलमस एंड हाइपोथैलेमस भी आता है हिपोकैम्पस नहीं आता लिम्बिक सिस्टम में एमिगडाला आता है.
nay, I just got it wrong now. In the limbic system includes amygdala and hippocampus, memory
Yep.
and emotion. Amygdala is emotion and
So भाई
hippocampus
सामने
is.
लिखा हो मेमोरी. It's oh my god bro.
But
This
they remember their childhood, bro. They remember their
huh?
childhood. They remember their
Patients
childhood.
wait. A patient strokes but can no longer form new episodic
They
memory.
can't form new episodic memory, but they remember their childhood perfectly. So we have
Damage
to
most
say,
likely. I think it's thalamus because it is the information relay center.
wait, the structure is a part of the limbic system and is shaped like a seahorse. Seahorse, man, I gotta say it has to be hypothalamus, man. But it
देख
is a
मैं
part
बोल
of limbic system. What is the limbic system? I can't see it in the.
लिम्बिक लिम्बिक सिस्टम वो होता है. लिम्बिक सिस्टम में मल्टीपल पार्ट्स आते हैं ब्रेन के जैसे थैलमस
Wait,
हाइपोथैलमस
wait, wait.
एमिगडाला. इट्स अ होल
Six.
सिस्टम. सेरिबुलर कॉर्टेक्स के अंदर आता है. सेरिबल.
A complex system of nerves and networks in the brain, every near edge of cortex, instinct and motor controls. Let's just see the diagram of a limbic system. It has amygdala, thalamus, hippocampus, and hypothalamus. All four are in the limbic system. So, what is
आई
this?
थिंक
The
इट्स
structure is a part of limbic system and is shaped
memory
like
memory for मेमोरी थैलेमस का फर्क हाइपोथैलेमस का फंक्शन सर्च कर रहा
Hypothalamus का function.
हूँ। यप,
Hypothalamus.
फंक्शन नहीं नहीं,
Uh,
आई थिंक इसका वन ऑफ द फंक्शन इज टू प्रोड्यूस क्या
regulating
बोलते हैं,
body temperature, hunger, thirst, sleep wake cycles, and blood pressure. I don't think it's. It has to be memory, right?
ये
It has to
memories,
be hippocampus.
hippocampus or like ये thalamus because it's just
Wait, wait,
the
wait, wait. Amygdala is emotion, so emotion cannot be. It has to be
yep.
memory.
Search one thing
But
uh, क्या बोलते हैं, is episodic
wait, wait,
memory
wait,
a
wait,
form
wait. Fuck that. Fuck that.
no no,
Hippocampus.
you should भाई
Because
हिप्पोकैम्पस ही है
if we are going to learn
memory.
about the thing by clicking on here, why do we have to waste time by going on to Google just to not make it wrong? Because even if we make it wrong, this will just train the
Yeah,
AI to give us
I
questions
was
about more.
I was gonna do the caution, you know, very stupid thing. I was gonna ask him, is your episodic memories a form of emotion as well?
Holy, that would have been cinema. Which early school of psychology uses the five phenomena to argue that the conscious experiment cannot be broken down into stationary sensory elements?
Gestalt, five phenomena Gestalt here.
Argue that conscious experiment cannot be broken down. Yeah, you cannot break down in Gestalt psychology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know this one. During an action potential, the rapid depolarization of the neuron is primarily caused by sodium.
sodium.
Yep. So sodium, positive ions. इतना मेरे को पता है. I think sodiums are the positive ions. So you can set click it.
The rapid depolarization of the neurons is primarily caused by sodium. The opening of sodium channels allow positive ions to enter and make inside of the cells less negative. Okay.
देखो
Depolarization
action
happens due to
action
sodium.
potential पता है
Okay.
देखो क्या होता है?
No, no, no idea. If a researcher
Action
is interested in controlling a specific behavior, they are most likely conducting which type of research?
they are doing the, I
Are
think
they
it's the
doing?
it's not a naturalistic observation फिर वो control कर रहे हैं. That's the out of option. Correlation research में तो वो कर रहे हैं ना, to correlation found करने की try कर रहे हैं, not controlling behavior.
If a researcher is interested in controlling a specific behavior, they are most likely conducting which type of research? They are controlling a specific behavior, right?
Yeah,
So
naturalistic observation is not an option, वो पहले ही कर देगा.
I think it's
क्योंकि
applied research because they are applying it to do something. They're
if a
applying
psychologist is,
something.
if a researcher is
Wait, let's
interested in
just
control,
look at the hint. Right, immediate practical solution. It is applied research
eh,
because they are controlling something, so it has to be they are applying something. Yeah, basic research is just like gathering knowledge. The applied research aims to solve practical problems and influence real world behaviors. Okay. A person with Broca aphasia
Broca's aphasia is related to your, I think, brain
likely
ability.
demonstrate which of the following symptoms: total loss of the ability to.
Yeah, Broca's aphasia is like your brain's part called Broca. I think something which makes your fluent but meaningless word salad.
What?
Yep.
Slow, laborious, and non fluent speech. What does Broca's aphasia do?
Broca aphasia is your related to तेरी Broca's
Is
aphasia से
is a
क्या होता है?
Broca is Broca's aphasia a condition?
डिसीज नहीं है
Yeah.
इसमें, ये प्रॉब्लम कंडीशन है जिसमें तेरा ब्रेन का पर्टिकुलर पार्ट डैमेज हो जाता है, जिसके कारण तेरे को ये होता है. एंड इट्स, आई थिंक इट्स रिलेटेड टू योर स्पीकिंग एबिलिटी. तेरे
No,
वर्ड
is
आए.
it like does your speech get affected or your speech is
योर
fluent but
स्पीच
it's meaningless?
ना ना, it's your speech get affected. भाई तेरे को तू बोलना चाहता है कुछ
Is
तो
it
तेरे से
going
बोलना
to be
कुछ।
Biden or Trump? Biden
न-
can't speak, Trump can speak, but doesn't make any sense while speaking.
it's more like Biden once, Biden का ही है ना कि like वो बोलते रहे। slow।
Like Biden or Trump, this shit was amazing. This is content worthy joke, भाई.
मेरे को
Slow
लग रहा है
laborious
फ्लुएंट
sound.
वर्ड, फ्लुएंट नहीं होते, मैंने फ्लुएंट वाला वर्ड नहीं पढ़ा, स्लो। ब्रो कैन नॉट स्पीच। एक बाय द एक और एफिशिया होता है, एक ब्रो का, तो ये याद रखना, ब्रो का एफिशिया जो है वो हमेशा लैंग्वेज की बोलने से रिलेटेड है, एंड एक और एफिशिया होता है जिसमें वो
है
अंडरस्टैंडिंग से
लेकिन
रिलेटेड।
मीनिंग नहीं आया
नहीं,
है
वो
मेरे.
अंडरस्टैंडिंग से
वो
रिलेटेड है,
ट्रम्प है
नॉट।
या the other aphasia is related to Trump and Broca's aphasia is related to Biden.
Which
That's what.
early school of psychology was most influenced by rationalism, the philosophy view that comes from logic? And I think it's, which one is functionalism? Do you think?
Wait,
Uh,
rational. Rational is behaviorism because everybody
the
was studying
philosophy.
mind, but behaviorists said that it is
Wait, wait,
very
wait,
rational to study what we can see.
wait.
The school
Philosophy.
sought the atoms of mind through analytical thought. Na na
अरे
na.
भाई मैं बता रहा हूँ फिर
Atoms.
मैं, आई थिंक फिक फंक्शनलिज्म है भाई, वहाँ पे रैशनैलिटी का वर्ड है।
Okay.
नॉलेज कम फ्रॉम द, मेरे को
लॉक
पढ़ने
कर
नहीं
दिया
दिया ना।
जाए.
ये लॉक द फक इन ए।
3,60,000 के लिए ये लॉक कर दिया जाए. बूम. Wrong. भाई.
ये वही है ना
Structuralism, the bruh. Structuralism. It was saying that like
मेरे
blocks,
को क्वेश्चन
analytical
रीड,
thought, sort the
मेरे को
atoms
क्वेश्चन तो
of
रीड,
mind through. Yeah.
मेरे को क्वेश्चन तो रीड कर रहे थे ब्रो।
Bruh, you read the shit first.
भाई मेरे को
You read it
फिलोसफी के
earlier
आगे मैं
then.
रीड ही नहीं कर पाया।
The reticular formation is a network of neurons in the hindbrain primarily responsible for what?
रेक्टिकल फॉर्मेशन इन हाइंड ब्रेन में कौन कौन सा ब्रेन होता है तेरा? आई थिंक एक इसमें होता है, ब्रिज होता है
Occipital,
एक, पॉन्स।
occipital lobe, cerebellum,
निगर, निगर,
pineal
that's your
gland.
that's your four lobes comes in your क्या बोलते हैं,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
फ्रंटल लोब।
Frontal lobe, limbic lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe.
Yeah, this comes in the cerebral cortex, which is the forebrain।
Yeah.
ये फोर लॉब्स, इसमें आता है तेरा पोन्स आता है, एंड तेरा सेरिबलम, वो आता है सेरिबलम आता है, ठीक है।
Hmm.
रेक्टिकल फॉर्मेशन, प्रोसेसिंग विजुअल, बॉडी टेम्परेचर, अब it's regulation of body temperature, actually I think fine motor
Regulation
coordinate।
of body temperature
नहीं
was done by
D
hypothalamus.
I know
Fine,
this
fine
shit।
motor and balance.
Yep, if his hip
Wait, when
cerebellum,
let's just watch the. If this area is damaged, a person may fall into a permanent coma. So it has
yep
to
yep
be
yep
yeah, arousal
no
alert.
no
No, it's fine
no
motor
no
and
fine
coordinate.
motor yep ये fine motor and coordination बता रहा हूँ मैं। ये तेरा वो प्रोसेस करता है
Yeah,
cerebellum।
fuck you, man. You just
Oh my
so
god,
sure about the wrong answer. What the fuck?
भाई it's biology, I'm not good at it। wait
I
the
haven't
which
even
part
studied it, bro.
ये रेक्टिकल फॉर्मेशन सर्च करना कौन सी है?
Reticle formation is a network of neurons.
चेक करना किस पार्ट को कहते हैं?
Reticle formation.
इन
A
भाई
diffuse network of nerve pathways in the brain stem connecting the spinal cord, cerebrum, and cerebellum, and mediating the overall level of consciousness. So it's like this
oh
part, this part.
yo it's the pawns, it's the pawns, holy fuck। पॉन्सी है ना आई थिंक इसको पॉन्सी कहते हैं। चल पार्ट का नाम सर्च करना,
So
रेक्टिकल
reticle
फॉर्मेशन।
formation is a cluster of neurons. It might not be a certain thing. It might be the
नहीं नहीं, उसका उसका
medulla
नाम है,
oblongata pons and this
रेक्टिकल
mixture.
फॉर्मेशन का नाम रहता है एक, इधर आई थिंक उसको
Reticle
पॉन्स बोलते
formation. So less.
हैं। ये नेम सर्च कर लेना, रेक्टिकल रेटिकल।
Reticle formation.
अब ब्रेन भी लिख देना आगे।
Sending
brain.
reticular activation system.
Nah, bro, what are you searching? Just search name brain part.
Bro, I'm telling you, reticle
Oh,
formation is a
medulla. I think it's called medulla. Yep, medulla. Pons is the bridge. Medulla corrects pons and cerebellum. Cerebellum is
medulla
the
oblongata is the like the
yeah,
stem that connects spinal cord to the brain. So
yeah,
it's
मैं
like
बता
the
रहा हूँ ना.
same thing. Same
So
thing.
I just I know फाइन मोटर कोऑर्डिनेशन सेरिबेलम करता है, ठीक है, जहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है इट्स योर पार्ट. यहाँ पे मैंने गलती पढ़ा क्वेश्चन. आंसर ही गलत था मेरा.
A
आई डिडंट
health
इवन अंडरस्टैंड.
psychologist helping a patient manage chronic pain through cognitive recon. It's the control, bro. They are helping him to do something, so it's control. In the peripheral nervous system, which division is specifically responsible for restoring the body to a calm state after a stressful event?
पैरासिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम.
Parasympathetic helps us to calm down,
यप
and sympathetic
यप
helps us to fight or flight, right?
यप यप.
Yes,
पैरासिम्पैथेटिक.
sir. System acts as the brake or slowing heart rate and conserving energy. Okay. Which historical figure established the first psychological Wilhelm Wundt in a United? Fuck, I was our William James, John Hopkins University. It's William James, right?
विच कौन सी कंट्री की बात चल रही है?
United States में in
So
1883.
who do you think is the most US name of American name of this all?
It's G. Stanley Hall or William James. Maybe
You are.
John Dewey too.
I think it's William
G.
James.
Stanley Hall.
या मैं वो भी रहा था ना. ये वाला क्वेश्चन तो मेरे को भी नहीं पता चल सकता, सिंस मेरे को पता नहीं जी स्टैनली
I
हॉल कौन है.
forgot. I forgot. We have studied this in second semester, I guess, when Sheetal ma'am used to teach us.
Who?
Sheetal ma'am.
जी जी.
The endocrine. Man, I'm crying.
Hormones.
The
Hormones.
endocrine system influences behavior by secreting chemicals called hormones. Moons. An industrial organizational psychologist evaluating employees' turn across various industries is primarily engaged in
Control.
what? Is primarily engaged in an industrial organizational psychologist evaluating employees' turnover rates across. No, it's
I think
description.
prediction.
No, it's descriptions. He's just evaluating,
देख ले.
doing anything else. I'm just, I'm
Isn't
not
it
sure.
trying to isn't it trying to control the turnover here?
No, he's just evaluating employee turnover. He's just
हाँ फिर गया.
identifying and measuring the rate of turnover. He was not doing anything else. He was just damage to the cerebellum would most likely result in loss of fine
देखो
motor, है ना?
ये
Loss
मेरे
of
को
balance
पता
and
है.
motor. Yeah, you told me that.
अरे cerebellum is also called the small brain. It's pretty important for you.
Okay. The cerebellum is the little brain responsible for coordinating voluntary movements and maintaining posture. Okay, okay, okay. Otherwise, we would be like slouched like monkeys, right? If we don't have cerebellum.
पता है cerebellum, I think इसमें तेरी 80% of nerves भी होती हैं brain की. So this
Damn,
according
it's
to
thick. What if I eat
refractory.
someone's cerebellum? Would I become more like
uh,
I gain more control over my motor function or what? Will I lose?
yeah, if you do that shit, first of all, you'll be put down like a real monkey. Second of all, this is a lot of mystery universe. Mm,
According to the refractory period, a neuron cannot fire again immediately after an action potential because the refractory period, a neuron cannot fire again immediately after an action potential because the dendrites are blocked by inhibit
repolarization. Repolarization actually.
it has run out of neurotransmitter. It is busy repolarizing and resetting the ion balance. Myelin
Yep.
sheath has been depleted.
It's
Re-
repolarization. क्योंकि
You crazy with it. Holy. It's busy. During the absolute refractory period, the sodium channels are closed and cannot be reopened. Okay, okay. Master gland of the endocrine system is pituitary. Hello? Yo, where did you go? Brev, can you hear me? Hello? Crazy. The master of the endocrine system, which regulates other glands, is pituitary gland. I knew that shit. I knew this shit because I read this shit in like eighth. Which goal of psychology is being met when a researcher uses a correlation coefficient to show that as poverty increases, crime rates also increase? Uses the correlation coefficient to show that as poverty increases, the crime also increases. Eh, I always mess this shit up, bro. What? It was prediction. Oh my bad. The corpus callosum is a band of neural fibers that I have no fucking clue, bro. If this is severed, a person is said to have a split brain. Connects the two cerebral hemispheres. Oh, this was pretty easy because the hint was so obvious. So the corpus callosum is allows for communication and coordination between the left and the right brains. Okay, is a band of neural fibers that connects the two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, which historical school of psychology was most interested in introspection of the adaptive mind? Introspection of the adaptive mind is functionalism. Introspection of the adaptive mind is functionalism. So, functionalism was heavily, what do you say it, influenced by the Darwin's theory of evolution. So, they believed in the introspection of the adaptive mind. Okay, okay. The primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system is inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system is epinephrine acetyl acetylcholine glutamate and GABA. It is gamma aminobutyric acid. GABA is a slow neural activity. Low levels are linked to seizure and anxiety. In the central nervous system is GABA, which is gamma aminobutyric acid. Gamma aminobutyric acid, which lobe of the brain are primarily involved in the executive functions like planning, judgment, and impulse control. I have no fucking which lobes of the brain are primarily involved in executive functions like planning, judgment, and impulse control? Hmm. Which lobe of the brain? This area is the largest part of the human brain to fully mature around the age of 25. It has to be frontal lobe then, right? Yeah, the prefrontal cortex within the frontal lobe is the executive center of the brain, which uh, it's like 75%. I'm doing pretty bad, to be honest. It should be pretty good by now, but I introduced the chapter 3, which is like the biopsychology, and it is like different. I haven't like studied it very well. I hope it like I can like do much better now. A patient's A patient suffers a traumatic injury in the pons, which of the following function is most likely to be severely disrupted? The formation of long episodic memories? No. This is done by hippocampus. Yeah, hippocampus. The coordination of sleep wake cycles and facial expression, the processing of visual depth and color, the regulation of body temperature and hunger. This is done by hypothalamus, hippocampus, process of visual depth and color. Now, I have no idea about this and this. It has to be visual depth and color because Pons is right. Brainstem and its name means bridge. Bridge. So, what could it, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Advanced. Should we move on to unit 4, learning and memory next? Another 20 question to biological basis. Yeah, I need biological basis. First of all, the processing of visual depth and color and the coordination. Let's just do. No, it was the coordination of sleep wake cycle. Pons acts as a bridge between the cerebellum and cerebrum and plays a vital role in sleep, dreaming, and facial movements. So, facial movements are determined by pons, and it also it also acts as a bridge between the cerebellum and cerebrum and plays a vital role in sleep, dreaming, and facial movements. Okay. Which early school of psychology used the concept of voluntarism to describe the mind's capacity to organize mental contents into higher level thought processes? Mental contents into higher level thought processes. So, voluntarism was in Wundt's experimental psychology. Yeah, Wundt referred to his system as voluntarism to emphasize the active and self-organizing nature of the mind. We have to remember this, that voluntarism was a part of experimental psychology, which was given by Wilhelm Wundt. The spatial summation of neurons refers to the process where spatial summation sheath prevents the loss of electrical charge in the axon. Signals from multiple different presynaptic neurons combine at the axon hillock. The neurons reset resting potential after an action potential. Rapidly firing signals from single neurons add up over a short time. So we have to figure out the spatial summation of a neuron refers to the process. Signals from multiple different presynaptic neurons combine at the axon hillock. Occurs when the neurons integrate simultaneous inputs from different locations on its dendrites. So what do? They in dendrites, the myelin sheath prevents the loss of electrical charge in the axons. Bro, पढ़ाई कर रहा वेयर विंड्स मीट में हेक्सी अपडेट आ गया. ब्रो वेयर विंड्स मीट अब हम खेलेंगे आफ्टर माय एग्जाम्स probably. No, not like that far. Maybe earlier than that. Maybe we can play tomorrow. और अगर मुझे कल पढ़ाई का मन नहीं हुआ वी कैन प्ले टुमारो. और अगर कल पढ़ाई का मन हुआ वी कैन. अभी मैंने स्ट्रीम इसलिए स्टार्ट की बिकॉज आई वाज लाइक स्टडीइंग बट आई वाज नॉट फुली फोकस्ड. सो आई वाज लाइक to hold myself accountable, I'll just start streaming. So for the past like 1.5 hours, your sciences or the other ones, I am currently a psychology student. So it's like a mixture of healthy mixture of both sciences and humanities. And my exam for PG, Central University entrance exam for PG, remasters ke liye I'm studying. It's like I'll get to choose if I score good. That is, if I score good, I'll get to choose a good university for my masters, and masters will be nice, pretty nice to have. It's like masters is pretty neat. It helps you a lot. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Jammu Kashmir. Jammu. A researcher discovers that a new drug successfully increases neurogenesis in the adult hippocampus. The finding most directly impacts which area of psychology? It affects biological psychology. Neurogenesis involves physical growth of new neurons, a core topic of biological psychology. So that is what it is. Okay, okay. By the way, like this stream if you are same bro. I'm also from Jammu. My home is here. Where are you from in Jammu? Damn, I didn't know. Damn. Veer Sada Jammu Tua. Where do you live? Nagrota heard. Yeah, yeah, obviously. Obviously, bro. Nagrota, I know. How old are you? Do you still study in school or are you a college student? If a split brain patient with a severed callosum sees an image of an apple in their left visual field, will they be able to pick up the apple with their right hand, pick up the apple with their left hand but not name it, describe the apple in great detail using speech, verbally state that they saw an apple? Visual information from the left field is processed in the right hemisphere, so they won't be able to see. Bro, I'm waiting for jobs. I'm done college. Oh, nice. Nice, 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 nice. KG, okay. When did you finish your college? Currently studying for SSC. Oh, मेरा एक friend भी was studying और उसका last year हो गया था in 2024. Oh, okay, okay, okay. 2024. Yeah, yeah, got it, got it, got it. My friend was also studying for SSC लेकिन उसका graduation time में I guess fourth semester में ही हो गया था. So he skipped college all along. He's not studying now. वो उसकी training चल रही है. Raghav Chaudhary. He's in CRPF, I guess. He got enrolled in CRPF. बढ़िया यार. Best of luck. I hope you get whatever you are praying for, whatever you are studying for, whatever you are looking forward to. And I hope you have a very successful life. Bro, I see you tomorrow. I can't disturb you. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was just having fun with you know, with these questions like these. So it's fine. You can just. That's why I was like, let me just create a MCQ type, which is interactive in the chat so that nobody gets bored and I can also study a little. We can have fun together. This is a pretty good way of studying and keeping the chat engaged. And I also get like a little more accountability that I'm like studying. Bro, if I can chat with you, you can focus properly. Bye bye. It's fine. Bye. Have a nice day. Describe the apple in great detail. Pick up the apple with left hand but not name it. Verbally state that they saw an apple but not name it. Bye bye. Pick up the apple. Field is processed in the right. Okay. Yeah, the left visual field goes to the right hemisphere, which can control left hand but usually lacks speech center. Okay, so which goal of psychology is being addressed when a researcher uses fMRI scans to identify the specific brain circuits activated during an act of lying? So fMRI is scans to identify the specific brain circuits activated during an act of lying. Psychology is being what? Are we controlling something here? We are not controlling. This is application, right? No explanation. Identifying the underlying biological mechanism that causes the brain to that causes a behavior. Lying is a goal of explanation. Okay, okay, I understand it now. I understand it now. The basal ganglia are a group of subcortical nuclei in the brain, primarily responsible for the processing of intense emotions like rage. I have no idea. Damage here leads to tremors and stiffness seen in Parkinson's disease, and the regulation of circadian rhythm and thirst, the relaying of auditory and visual sensory signals, the planning and execution of smooth habitual movements. Now, the Parkinson disease, like this, the basal ganglia are critical for fine motor skills and are heavily impacted by diseases like Parkinson's. So, basically, are a group of subcortical nuclei in the brain primarily responsible for the planning and execution of smooth habitual movements. Okay, so the fine motor movements that we have learned are done by ganglia. A psychologist studying why groupthink occurs in a political committee is most likely pursuing which goal? Groupthinks occur in a political committee, in political committees, is most likely pursuing which goal? Which goal are they pursuing? Studying description, explanation. Why? Asking why is a specific social phenomena occurs involving. Yeah, I am struggling with these kind of questions because I'm not understanding these questions. In the endocrine system, which gland is responsible for releasing melatonin to regulate sleep wake cycles? Um, Pineal gland, right? Melatonin. Sleep wake cycles are decided by what? Small pine cone shaped gland that is located deep in the brain. It has to be pineal, right? Pine cone. Pineal or adrenal. Yeah, pineal gland secretes melatonin to darkness to help the body signal that it's the sleep time. Okay, okay, okay. Which historical school of psychology would be most interested in studying perceptual constancy, the ability to see an object as the same despite changes in lighting or angle? Yeah, Gestalt psychology, because Gestalt psychology believe that innate organizational principles of perception like constancy and closure. They believe that the whole is different from its parts. Somatosensory cortex, which processes sensation of touch and body position, is located in the somatosensory cortex, which processes sensations. Now, what is somatosensory cortex, which processes sensation of touch and body position, is located in the parietal lobe? contains somatosensory stripe located right behind the central sulcus. Somatosensory cortex is located in the parietal lobe and it helps us with the touch body position. A researcher states by manipulating the level background noise we can reduce it is prediction. What the fuck? By manipulating the level of background noise we can reduce. The statement focuses on manipulating an environment to produce a specific desired change in behavior. While it contains a prediction, the primary intent is the manipulation for influence. Now, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Active manipulation to reach a goal. Yeah, you can change it. The glia cells in the nervous system were once thought to be just glue, but are now known to provide nutrients, remove waste, modulate neurotransmission, secrete hormones in the bloodstream, act as the primary receptors for sensory output, fire action potentials across long distances. They outnumber neurons in the brain but provide essential support. Secrete hormones in the bloodstream, provide nutrients and remove waste, modulate. Yeah, glia play an active role in supporting neurons and communicating with them to influence synaptic strength. Okay, I understand it. Which historical school of psychology was first to use animal models to understand human mental processes influenced by evolutionary continuity? Historical school used animal models to understand human mental processes. This has to be cognitivism, functionalism, psychoanalysis, or structuralism. Heavily influenced by Charles Darwin, functionalism. Functionalists believe that because humans and animals share evolutionary roots, animal behavior can shed a light on human adaptations. Professional with PhD who focuses on biopsychosocial impact of chronic illnesses helps patients improve their quality of life is a biopsychosocial to chronic illnesses and helps patients to improve their quality of life is a counseling psychologist. Sophia is often found in hospitals and clinics for non-mental illnesses. Non-mental illnesses. It's counseling, health psychology. Health psychologists focus on how psychological, social, and biological factors interact in health and illness. Okay. The resting potential of a typical neuron is approximately how many millivolts? The resting potential of a typical neuron is approximately, I have no fucking clue. It is a negative value because the cell is more inside than the outside. So that means it has to be these two. 55 millivolts is at rest. The inside of a neuron is more negative than the outside, typically around 70 millivolts. Resting potential of a typical neuron is approximately minus. The damage to medulla oblongata would most likely lead to loss of ability to feel hunger, inability to see color, death due to cessation of breath, and extreme difficulty in death due to cessation. The goes and it's all done, man. Done. Done. The James Lange theory of emotion, which states that we feel emotions after our body reacts, was a product of which school? James Lange theory has to be functionalism, right? Because William James and Lange was it of emotions, which states that we feel emotions after our body reacts. Body reacts. Maybe this was first American psychologist textbook functionalism. Yeah, William James was the founder of functionalism and co-developed the theory to explain the adaptive nature of emotions. Yeah, A researcher states that hindsight bias is the reason many people believe psychology is common sense. This research is primarily fulfilling which goal? UPSC preparation next. करेंगे live है ना? Shit will be cinema. Imagine studying for UPSC on live. Yashika, I'm also practicing for CUT PG MS Psychology honors. Oh, really? Welcome to the chat. Just practicing these MCQs by Gemini. So the question is a researcher states that hindsight bias is the reason many people believe psychology is common sense. The researcher is primarily fulfilling which goal? You're giving an explanation that people believe psychology is common sense because they have hindsight bias. States that hindsight bias is the reason many people. We are getting the reason, yeah. We are getting the explanation of why it is so. So it has to be like psychological reason for the common belief is an act of explaining to why it is behind the phenomena. Okay, okay, I understood the question. So, which part of the limbic system is specifically associated with fight or flight emotional response, such as intense fear or aggression? Fight or flight is done by sympathetic nervous system, so it will be emotions by amygdala. Amygdala, yeah. Amygdala is the part which triggers emotions. Yeah. Job. Amygdala is an emotion center that triggers fear and response progressively. Okay, it was not a good. Hey bro, I randomly clicked on your video. Can you tell me please how can I crack my CUT UG this year? My subject is GAT and English. I mean, you just are you like are you targeting like top universities or top colleges like DU and Jamia Millia, whatever the top universities are in India? If you want to go there, you have to have a really good understanding of your subject, and you also have to study all the factual like syllabus that is like required for your that is prerequisite to your subject. You have to study that. Yeah bro, JNU and JMI, yeah, you have to study a lot. So gonna give exams UTPGM cycle. Yeah, I'm also like going to give my exam, going to appear in the exam this year. It's like 10 days away now. JNU, it the cutoff is really high, so you have to study a lot. Like you have to be like pretty familiar with the 16 March. Yeah, same 16 March. You have to be pretty familiar with your subject, and you have to study all the. I mean, you have to be good with the factual knowledge of your subject because it's all multiple choice questions. You're right now. I'm getting 210 in marks. Yo, that's good. You just need to improve a little. You'll get the best of the best colleges in the country. You'll be able to get into the best of universities in the country. Damn, we're not doing that. Lol. Thank you, by the way. And UG has a pretty like decent. I'm trying for BHU even though I'm from Delhi. Yeah, Delhi is not the place for psychology, to be honest. BHU is a good university. Yeah. By the way, what about you? It's in between, like, you know, DU. If I get a college in DU, that will be nice. Otherwise, it has to be somewhere here in my home state, Jammu Kashmir. I'll rather stay here. If I get Jammu University, that will be nice because I am from Jammu. And I don't wanna like, yeah, prefer North Campus. Yeah, true. Prefer North Campus. I'll prefer to stay here in Jammu. But if I get a good enough university with like good future prospect, I'll probably leave the state. By the way, thanks to everyone who joined the stream. It was a fun stream. I enjoyed studying a little with you guys, and it was very interactive. Come here, I will welcome you, Laura. Oh, thank you so much. I'll probably stream daily for like 2 hours or 1.5 hour. We can study and discuss our doubts in the live stream. It'll be fun. I usually play games, but now I have to lock in, so I'll study on stream, so it'll be fun. Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Where are you from, by the way? I'm from Jammu, Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, bro. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you so much for joining.